Dark Crystal Age of Resistance is easily one of the best shows I've seen in a very, very long time. It captures exactly what Jim Henson was trying to do in the movie that came out in 1982, except this time it has more time to develop the world. With over 10 hours in episodes, you know they're going to spend a little bit of time developing things, and boy, do they not waste a second of it. Nothing in this show feels slow, nothing in this show feels fast. Everything feels perfect. The puppetry's incredible. Everything's incredible. There's really nothing bad about this show. I'm in love with it. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So today, we're going to be talking about Season 2 of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Are we going to get one? And if so, when are we going to see it? As well as my general reactions to the first season, which, if you haven't guessed already, are pretty damn good. So this show has a bit of a weird history to it. It was originally planned to be this like half animation, half puppetry kind of hybrid. And then they decided just to go full puppetry with it, with a little bit of CGI mixed in here and there. And it works. Everything in the show looks incredible, sounds incredible. The puppetry is, I think, the best ever. I don't think there's any other TV show in the history, or any form of media, really, that's been able to do this much complex stuff with puppetry. It's incredible. The story of the show, especially, because a lot of people have complained about the story of the Dark Crystal being a little bit too hard to follow. This one's very easy to follow. You know exactly what's going on. There's no confusion. The rules of this complex new world are given to you at the very beginning. It doesn't feel rushed or forced. They just show up naturally, which is great. Everything in this show happens so naturally, one after the other. It's a masterpiece. It's a straight-up masterpiece. If I had to give this show a score out of 10, because a lot of people ask me to do that now whenever I review stuff, it would get a 10. Easy. There's no question about it. It's currently the second most popular show, at least according to IMDb. The first one above it being Carnival Row, an Amazon Prime original, I believe, which I'm probably going to be checking out here pretty soon. But Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, as a big fan of Jim Henson products, especially the Dark Crystal, I was very happy with the product. On top of that, I think if Jim Henson was around today to see this, he would be very proud of what they were able to get done. It just captures that sense of wonder and mysticism that he tried to show in the first movie, and that was really only being tried to be captured in comic books and graphic novels and all of that, but now it really feels like it's finally been fully captured in this one season of television that's almost 10 hours of content long, and it's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check it out, just for the puppetry alone, just for the voice acting alone. Some of the voice acting in this show is incredible. Mark Hamill's in it, Keegan-Michael Key, a lot of talented people behind this show. The puppetry, again, I can't stop gushing about the puppetry. My God, is it fantastic. So with that all said, let's talk Season 2. It's possible, 100% possible. We're going to get into a tiny bit of spoiler territory, no specific plot points, but the show is set up to be expanded upon itself. Whether I see this being kind of like a trilogy, which is my guess for it, a kind of trilogy leading up to the events of the movie, that's kind of my hope for it. I think that'd be a good amount to kind of get everything they need to say said and get all of the pieces put together while developing all these characters that are really already really well developed as of the first season. This first season does not mess around. It is a serious season of television. They get stuff done, and it doesn't feel rushed. It's just amazing. Something like this should not work as well as it did, and out of nowhere, it just works perfectly. So that was really surprising. So Season 2, is it going to happen is the big question. I think it's almost undoubtable. I think there's going to be there's obviously going to have to be some writing. They're going to have to find a way to, they're going to have to find something to fit into this Dark Crystal kind of lore, this mysticism that can make sense prior to the movie. There's some stuff that goes against the movie in the TV show, but that's okay because it's a prequel made almost 40 years later. It can't be perfect, although it's very close to being perfect, which is shocking. But there's a lot of good in this show, and it being right now the second most popular TV show, just period, says something about it. The fact that I think 6 out of the 10 episodes are rated 9s and above on IMDb says something about it. I think the fact that it's full puppetry and it's the Dark Crystal is enough said for this show to be continued more on Netflix. The only thing I'm scared about is this show cost a shit ton of money. It costs a lot of money to make, as well as having a very talented cast. I mean, Simon Pegg is in this cast. Keegan-Michael Key, like I said, Mark Hamill are in this cast. Some expensive guys. Harvey Firestein's in this cast. There's a lot of very talented people, not even mentioning the puppeteers. There's a lot of people in this project, so it'll probably be very expensive to do another season of it. But just because something costs a lot of money does not mean it's not going to happen. I mean, we did get season 1, and that did cost a lot of money, and it was phenomenal. So the only thing that could stop this would be money. Netflix has a lot of money, so I think that we're pretty much a go for season 2 at this point. You never know. You never know. But I think my personal opinion is that we are a go for season 2 of The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. My guess is it'll probably be something like a trilogy, just to kind of get everything put together, maybe 30 episodes total, and then it will lead into the original movie. I think that's probably the best way to go about things. That makes a lot of sense to me. When will we see it? That's the big questions everyone's asking. My personal opinion, after watching the making of, knowing a lot about how people make puppets, because I'm a huge Jim Henson fan, and just seeing how everything comes together, I think it's realistic to say that this show, season 2, is going to come out in 2021, right around this time. I know that may be a little bit far out there for some people. They're like, oh, I want to see it in 2020. I would love to see it in 2020 as well. But I think with the amount of work it takes, this amazing team putting together a work of art, I think 2 years' time is realistic, it's doable, and it won't force anyone to be rushed. They'll just sit down and perfect their craft like they did with this previous season. But then again, I could be wrong. It's a pretty solid guess, I believe, on my part. But if you guys have a better guess, post it down in the comments below. I read every single comment on this channel, so do not be shy. And that's about all I have to say about it. The original season is a masterpiece. The original movie is a masterpiece, and Netflix would be stupid not to continue producing this masterclass of television. It would just be a foolish mistake, honestly, for Netflix not to continue it. So with that said, post your thoughts down in the comments below. Like I said before, like 10 seconds ago, I read every single comment on this channel. If you don't believe me, just check any of my other videos. I've either liked or responded to all of the comments on the channel. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Mr. Cow, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.